and it is interesting that this is going to, I mean, this has passed the LSAT law exam and medical exam. And it is
What happened to
somebody must have rung the bell.
no, that was Hinsley. But Karunian, he disappeared.
I thought he went to open the door or something.
No, that was Hinsley, I think.
That is Kingsley, yes.
Yeah, he went to.
Artificial intelligence took him also.
made him disappear. ChatGPT would have made him disappear.
He pressed the wrong button there.
That is true.
While waiting for Karunian, shall we talk about artificial intelligence, the good part and the bad part? Maruf, you start.
Where is Karunian now? Oh, let me find him.
This is Srima from her home. She's in a home, isn't it now?
Yeah,
Srima.
she has moved. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's nice to see her.
Can't see her. Srima.
Hello.
Hi, Srima.
Hi,
Can't
Srima.
see you.
Hi.
Hi, Srima.
How are you?
Managing.
You settle down.
Hello. Hello,
Hello.
Srima.
Hi, Srima. How are you?
Hello.
Hi, Nilani.
Hello, Shanti.
Yeah. Lovely to see you both.
Thank you.
Can you hear her okay?
Yes, thank you. Though.
Yeah, but can I hear you?
I don't know.
There he comes back.
I'll come back. Srima, you settled in to your new
More-
place?
More or less, yes, now.
Right. We're going to come and see you one of these days.
I hope so.
Gloria.
Thank you very much. I'd love
Yeah.
to see all of you.
Srima, which town is it? The home? What is the
In Red
address?
Hill. Still in Red Hill.
Red Hill.
Red
Very
Hill.
close to where I was before.
I see.
Karunian completely disappeared.
No, he's trying to connect.
His
Just
Wi-Fi
Srima,
would have gone.
we got a new person who joined it. It was
Right.
Kingsley
Yeah, he has
Rajendra.
come.
Kingsley
I'm sorry,
Rajendra.
I thought the
phone suddenly
artificial intelligence took you also, Elmer.
Oh, you were calling from the phone.
I know. No, I'm sorry. I just got out and came. So, Ranjit,
Yeah.
how are you doing, Ranjit?
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Okay. I told all our friends to join today.
Lal, did you get Lal?
Yeah,
Did you
Lal,
meet Lalita?
I spoke to her.
Ah.
She said she'll join, but never happens. I don't know.
Call her now.
Mary, all are cutting themselves off. Yeah.
No, Mary is very nervous about technology.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to change anything about it there. Yes.
Yeah.
Because she's connecting with the family in US. I think
Yeah.
if he joins a Zoom, all of a sudden things will disappear.
But Lalita's children were going to help her to join today. What happened?
So, can we just talk a little bit about the program? I mean, this wonderful meeting and connecting with people and seeing new people like Hinsley and being inspired by his marathon running. Maybe we got to have something that is more than social only to keep us occupied. So, any ideas?
Can we first talk about Zoom? We'll tell them how to connect, how to make use of it, and etc. I know most of the people can connect. Some of them have difficulties, and there are basic learning modules on Zoom.
Now, how to download the app?
Yes.
See, Maruf, yeah, certainly technology is one, but more than that, they got to get attracted to it. So I'm wondering whether we can have a. My one thought I had was to call a anniversary. Now we got together in 1966 July, but have an annual gathering of everyone and try and make a real concerted effort to get everyone and have an interesting program. Like for instance, getting one of our teachers like Banda talking to us, or or something like that, some interesting program.
They want you to join the meeting.
What's that? Yeah. Anyone has any idea? Now we can bring some interesting talks too. Now Vijay's son, I can ask him to speak again. We can also go outside the medical topic and talk of other things. But wellness and health in our age group is huge.
It's a very important one. And there's also something that I'm recently getting involved with, which is called Iceni Center. Iceni is a queen who was ruling the England of the past. And it's about 4,000 years old city I was in, Colchester. I'm working there at this moment, but I'm finishing on Monday. But basically, they have a center that is built. That hospital is very great, forward-looking hospital, building hospitals for the future and this type of thing. And then this Iceni Center is we all were taught medicine and it was knowledge. This one goes into developing skills for various specialities, even giving a lecture and everything. So they have built this center with the base of using robotics, which is the future, while they are also teaching obstetric skills, urology, every specialty they have skills training. And there is a lot to be talked about, and I can get Barry, who is one of the clinical directors here and my partner. And there's somebody in the United States who is building modules. Actually, he's making modules which resemble the live one, and he's willing to send it to me and to distribute across the world. And he's doing not for profit sales on this product. And people can actually go and operate on various modules, and actually they can feel it is exactly like the body, because unless all of us who trained in surgery, we know that we need to learn from the patient.
But they have had it for a long time, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it has had.
That's a virtual. This one.
No,
even
it's
the
not
tug and the pull of the knot.
Virtual control, yeah. But real thing in front of you. For example, there is a robot, and you operate the robot, and it'll start operating on a say, for example, a repair of a ureter or something like that. You do the repair yourself, but that chap will watch it and say, don't turn it left or like that, all clear instructions are given. And finally, you get used to it. So you can go on practicing on it many times before going into, I call it not virtual, skills training on audios. So this has come as a very interesting thing. I have joined that guy and the man called Malcolm McKenzie from Harvard. So both of them can talk to us on this subject if you want. It is called skills training. So we can keep that as one subject that will interest all of us.
We'll need number of subjects, Maru, over the period of time. But yes. I think for the next 2 or 3 months, if we get something to connect us with our old days, for those who are still interested, and also something that will give a practical value to us in enhancing our life.
What about anti-aging?
Living
young.
Now I know some of for example, Sam and Nalin. Now they are not joining us. They say it's they don't want these too many medical topics. That was the problem, because we were going into some serious medical topics, but they are of no use to us at the moment, isn't they? whereas life sciences and how to live long and meditation and all that, those things are of course more useful. So I suppose part of our people are not joining because they find some of these topics are of no relevance to them. I don't know whether that is. I of course joined because I just want to be in the group and.
Yeah. So tell me, so Narada, you're right, but what is the subject then that will attract people and bring them?
No, we'll ask for a subject list from each one. Ask them to send it on WhatsApp. I'll compile it and send it to all of you. So then we choose, and then we get the maximum number of votes. We'll put those subjects in. Now you can think, what do I want to know?
I think some of the things like very.
It's not health. How to look younger, how to look, grow older without getting illness or reduce the illnesses. You see, I think some of them are relevant where, even though we don't, when you talk to each other and find that somebody is doing better,
for example,
or more healthier, you tend to follow that.
Yeah, because Vijay Sekara's son talked about sleep, which is important.
Saro's son.
Saro's son, yeah, sorry.
Vijay Sekara's son talked on back pain.
Back pain.
Back pain. Also is something that is for
all of us have back pain.
Yeah.
Or like osteoporosis or whatever that is.
I think we can get Hinsley to talk about the role of exercise in old age.
How to
memory loss.
Yeah, very true.
How to improve the memory.
Hinsley, can you give a talk, say 20-30 minutes, not and then we'll chat.
Sure, definitely.
Next week on the role of exercise and how to run a marathon.
I will do it next time. Be sure, no problem.
Okay, so Maru, we got one program there, and
exercise and marathon.
Yeah, so we'll just keep to that program and then we'll chat a little. Ranjit, can you talk about deafness in old age?
How to improve the acuity? There must be eye, ear. We are not taught how to protect our
balance.
ears.
Ranjit, about balance.
Balance.
We must get Vikramanand to talk about something.
Balance of the ear, all the time.
Vicky, what about you?
I don't think you should make it very serious and clinical.
Yeah.
At our age, what does it matter whether you can walk or things at the other end of the spectrum? It's very boring. Any other clinical topic, make it a very important, very clinical. This is the food you must eat. This is the way you must drink. We have gone past that point. We are almost the last wicket. The last wicket is on. You must get going. You see, instead of this clinical thing.
So what is the subject that you would like?
Oh, just anything very social and very things. You can talk about politics in United States of America. You can see what's happening in India. That's interesting. Why deal with clinical aspect? You can ask Shantini to give a talk about what happened on climbing mountains and all, That'd be more interesting than...
But deafness is not an important subject.
Oh, deafness is important for us, our age, isn't it?
Health is not very important. Karnia, they're just flogging a dead horse, It doesn't work because who wants to know about your exercise is going to keep you long. Your food is keeping you that.
I want to.
Yes, you can, but you ask for my opinion.
Let me tell you.
Shanti is going to climb the pyramids. I just climbed Sigiriya.
And
Guardian wrote a
going to run a message to Shanti.
Shanti can talk.
I think I agree with Narada. I have heard few people from our batch who said they don't join this group because they are talking about clinical stuff. What they want to have is, so Karunian, you're right, and Narada, you're right as well. Let's keep the clinical aspect, which is relevant to us at this age, but Vikramachandran said, keep it short and about 15-20 minutes, and the rest of the time they want a social chat about things that interest. Example, yes, US politics, Sri Lankan politics, and other things that may be that we would talk when we meet each other. I think this is what I too heard from a few who didn't want to join us. They say, oh, we are past all this clinical stuff now.
Excuse me. I have kept this open even the days Karunian asked me to close it because we don't have a subject to talk about. I am telling you, this Zoom meeting is mainly about our saying, hi Shanti, and we see each other. That's it. Every month we'll see each other. No harm. What do you lose?
No, but I think it's interesting to have a...
Yes, have an agenda.
Yeah.
No, you have an agenda. I'm telling you, the base on which we are meeting is we are able to see each other. And if Shanti didn't come, oh, your picture is not there. Everybody is wanting to know what you are doing and how you look. Because the reason is that we are moving on in life. We like to meet each other. We can't meet each other physically. Here is a meeting that makes it possible. And that's why I keep it going. In the last 2 times, Karnian said, oh, let's cancel this. I went and had a meeting and we had a nice chat. Gloria and Edwin came and there were a few others. We joined and talked about various jokes that were said and all sorts of things. That's fine. We have a lot of things to, you see, I was just, my granddaughters were there. She met a friend of her. They were talking for 4 hours. I don't know what they were talking. But they were talking because they were friendly talk. Nothing about school or mathematics or no. They were just talking about various things. So we have lots of things to talk. So it is for us to bring up, like Vikramachandran said, don't bring clinical aspect that is not interested to him. But there are interest. What are you interested? Tell me. And then we'll combine it and make a list and then tick it off and then find out, oh, everybody wants this topic. Okay, let's talk. What about that? Let's be little more.
But yeah, I know. But yeah, but let's get the feelings and needs of those who are not here. And if you can find out Narada and Shanti, what will interest those people, if it is whether it's American politics or Sri Lankan politics or whatever it is, we started off with COVID times, learning about COVID and all that, and then we went on that direction. Sure, some of our struggles with COVID and infection and health has decreased, but we got some good talks. I think Economic's talk is excellent in my opinion, but some people don't want to ignore Vikramachandran has a different outlook. That's fair enough. Okay. But then for the next meeting, we got Hinsley going to talk about exercise in old age.
Yeah.
Not old age, we are still young, but anyway. Vikramachandran, Vix, is that all right? He's a marathon runner.
No, Karnian, I don't want to disrupt it. I just gave my opinion. That's right.
Yeah, no. Listen,
that's an important opinion. Yeah,
very important issue is going on in Australia at the moment because there's something called the voice of people in Aboriginal voice is going on. That's a very topic. Like in the United States.
There you are.
In India, they're trying to incorporate this uniform system. It's very interesting to talk about those things. And to go into this, how you exercise going to keep you better, I don't know.
Going back
politics is such a nebulous thing. If you
not politics, geophysical.
No, current situations are fine because if you can
trying to rewrite history,
cheaper. Cost of living is going high.
See, at the moment, test match is going on for us. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Australia versus England.
Going back to Australia, I just wanted to give you some information. The Sri Lankan lady, who is the daughter of 2 doctors, has just won the Australian
I know her.
Australian Booker Prize.
Sure.
Let's get her to talk if you can.
Yeah.
No. She's Narada. She's the daughter of a fellow called Narada Chandran.
That's right.
Who was at St. John's. He's a neurosurgeon. Maruf knows the guy.
I was his classmate.
Yeah. And Narada Chandran was a bright fellow. He became a neurosurgeon in Canberra. And his daughter married You know this ENT surgeon, Rasanagams.
That's right.
Daughter. Narana Chandran married his daughter, and it is Narana Chandran's granddaughter who is the one who has got it. Her name is Shankari, and this is about the third or fourth book she has written. She's also a lawyer, and she writes about this aged home, which is a aged home in people. I know people have gone to that home, and that is owned by a guy called Nirmal Anandan, who was at Blomfontein with Maruf and me and so on. Nirmal Anandan is married to Rasanagam's other daughter. So Rasanagam had one of his daughters married Narana Chandran, other daughters married Nirmal Anandan. And Nirmal Anandan started a nursing home, and now his son, a fellow by the name of Logan, has taken that nursing home. And Logan is married to a girl who grew up in Lancaster, Lakshmi Sivalingam, whom I knew as a little girl. It is about that nursing home that she's written. And she's got
Is
this.
that the Jetman nursing home at Stratfield?
He said Stratfield, but I don't know the
Yeah.
name. Huh?
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one.
You're
That's the
right.
one.
You're right,
That's the
Benita.
one. Yeah.
Because in fact, my brother-in-law.
Desmond. Yeah.
Desmond, you're right.
Yes, Desmond.
Is in some way they are related to Professor Arul Kumar's wife, also is
That's
a
right. Yeah.
Rasanagam's daughter. Yeah.
Narada,
Nice
all
girl.
these things
She's-
are in that
huh?
communication.
Huh?
You don't read those things, Narada. Don't you read those things? Go back and it's there. As the Arulananda Karmian has contributed, Shanti and Maruf have written on that. Haven't you
Yes.
read it?
No, I read it.
No, it's a good thing. There is another very highly acclaimed book published in the US. It's by a girl called Sugi Ganeshanandan. And Ganeshanandan is a pediatric pulmonologist. He was with me at Yale when we both did fellowship together. And he's also from St. George. He's also from Haryana. His daughter Sugi has written a book mainly on the conflict. And the first book was called Love Affair, about the conflict. And the second book, this book is called, it's also highly acclaimed, New York Times. It's called Brotherless Night. It's also about a conflict. It's a highly rated. It had a big write-up in New York Times. But I haven't read that book, Brotherless Night. But I know the girl, Sugi. She grew up as a little girl, and now they're all authors and whatnot.
Narada, this issue is important because it relates indirectly what happened in Sri Lanka in 1983, all the thing, and also it had taken the Aboriginal affairs in Africa, in Australia, and she have wheeled that into a story, Looks fictitious, but it's on reality.
Which one is that?
Background is the reality.
Which one are you referring to?
This book that she had written that.
The one which won the prize.
Yeah.
There's another chapter on a Sri Lankan one last year, the same price, not the same thing, something like one of the best books written here in Australia.
That Seven Moons of Mali by.
No, that was a Booker Prize in England.
That's
but did you read the book? There's another book called Passage North. Well worth reading. Very contemplative book. It's also about the conflict. Arul Pragasam.
Arul Pragasam.
Arul Pragasam, the uncles were in my wife's medical school batch. That's a very contemplative, very.
What is the book called? What is the book?
Passage North.
Pragasam is the
Passage North.
Karmian is the
No. He spells it Arud, A-R-U-D Pragasam. He was a finalist for the Booker Prize but didn't get it.
Why don't we make a list of books to read?
You become very pedantic, Maru.
I found
what to do in our lives.
Ranjit,
How
sorry,
to improve our
Ranjit.
memory.
Yeah,
No,
Ranjit
I
was saying
phoned,
something.
Yeah.
I
Ranjit.
phoned up Lalita. She
Yeah.
says she's alone. She can't connect without the daughter being there.
Mm. You know, the recently I traveled to Sri Lanka and back. The whole trip, my ticketing, my checking in, my travel, the whole thing, visa, whole thing was on my phone. No paper. No, I got the Sri Lankan visa I have on the passport, so I didn't get that. But the Indian visa, I went to India, so all that is on the phone, and you know it's all technology. I don't know how.
Technology, advance of technology, paperless world, aging mind. Yeah, I
Oh,
told Shanti and Lawrence to go and join together, talk about the aging mind, how to deal with it.
we have to
Karunyan,
first. Can I ask Karunyan what part of India did you do and what was
You
about
know,
the Indian?
I have a program which I haven't talked to you.
Madras, he goes to Tamil Nadu.
I do work. I started a health program with the refugees in India in 1991.
Tamil Nadu.
In 1991, I got a call from Chandra Hasan. You know who he is.
His
He's
JV son, third son.
his son. And he said, you guys are in United States doing well. We got 100,000 refugees and they have no health care. So I went there. I said, all right, I'll come. I went there. And the challenge was they were dispossessed, displaced, disenfranchised. How do you give health care to them? Okay, so that's a question I had to answer. I thought through and I went through Mao Zedong's Barefoot Doctor program. So there was finally a medical student displaced and a third year medical student displaced, along with Shanti Rajasundaram. I don't know who she is. Her husband was killed in the 83 massacre. So she was there in India as she also had been come there, but she had been given a job. So we put out a program for training the people in the camp. We thought that instead of medicine being centralized, coming out from the doctors and from the hospitals to which they had no money and they had no access, we said we will start training these people to take care of themselves. So that was the model that Mao Zedong tried after the revolution in 1948. It's called the Barefoot Doctor program. There's a lot of literature on that. And using that, we found out the regular common things and we started a program, and every camp, there were 100 camps, every camp put out 2 people to be trained, and we created a program. That was 1991, 92, 93. We did some remarkable things, which, if you want, I can talk about it. We had vitamin A
Talk about
deficiency.
it, Karnian.
I'll have to systematize it. But anyway, that same program is going on, but the number of refugees have come down to now, there's 58,000 refugees. They still live in camp. They're a family. And I did not work as a charity myself. The refugees formed a self-help organization called OFFER, Organization for Ilam Refugee Relief, Rehabilitation. And so they had the health worker program. It continues still to this day. They have a multifaceted program. They now have a farm and all that. So I went there I went and talk to them over the Zoom, and I went there to meet and do some work with them. A very fascinating, interesting, heartwarming thing I do. So I went to Trichy first. I flew from Colombo to Trichy. Then I went to Chennai, Madras, and came back.
And that
Karnian,
refugee
I
camp
have.
is in camp is in Chennai.
No, it's all over Tamil Nadu. There are about 60 camps spread out all over. The organization itself has an office in Chennai, one in Trichy, one in Erode, and one in further south. So the camps are just little. Sometimes it is 1,000, 2,000 people. Sometimes it is 50 people. Some have 150 people, 200 people, and so many have returned. They are returned. The idea is because these guys don't have citizenship rights there, so they have to return. It's an interesting world of itself.
So why is that quite a lot of fellows are still staying now that they could come back? Isn't it? Why?
Coming back is not an easy thing. They've lost everything. They're married there. The children have grown up there. 35 years in one place. And then suddenly some people have come back, and when
That's
they
a
come
generation.
back, they have incredible obstacles. And so now the same organization is in Sri Lanka too, and they are trying to help these fellows rehabilitate.
But I thought Karni and the Tamil Nadu government, that is Stalin and those chaps, though the central government have passed that rule now that about the immigration and become this called 370, this is the 370, that section of the immigration where people you like Sri Lankan Tamils are one of those you can never make Indian citizenship. Other one is new Muslims who are going in and various things they have passed the rule. Therefore, you can't become an Indian. But Tamil Nadu government was trying to help because it's a great thing that you are doing Karaniya. But where do you get your finances to do that? You need money. No,
okay, I'll tell you. Yeah, let me comment on all those three problems. Number one, the Indian Citizenship Act that came about a year or two ago allowed non-Muslims who are refugees, and remember India has a huge refugee population, Tibet, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Rohingyas, Burma. So all these places there are refugees. So they have refugees all over, and they allowed all the refugees to become citizens except those Muslims who came from Muslim countries. Because the theory was you have a Muslim country, you go to the Muslim country. It is part of Modi's racism. But so if you're a Hindu from Bangladesh, and Bangladesh Hindus have there are some areas of conflict there. Or if you were a Hindu from any other place or a Christian, technically, you could get citizenship. But the Muslims are not allowed to do it because they said we are surrounded by Muslim countries, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and so on. Except for the Sri Lankan Tamil refugees who were Hindus, but still were not allowed to become citizens. And you had to find the reason for that. The reason was the disenfranchisement of Indian Tamils in 1947, 48. So they haven't forgotten that. Long memory. So unfortunately, these fellows never, but Tamil Nadu government, which is a prosperous government, Madras is like New York. Yeah. They have subways and they have high rises, and I mean, they are extremely progressive and they do have very good social support, for which the refugees also get the support. Those guys are extremely kind and nice to the refugees, the Tamil Nadu government. And they are helping, and they are 4 to 5% of the refugee population are college graduates. They're gone to, I mean, they're unlike the others, because of this offer and other organizations, a lot of focus on education. So there are a lot of college graduates, there are doctors from the refugee camps. In fact, one of the first guy was a guy who was in a refugee camp in one of those huts. He got admission to Salem Medical School. He had never worn shoes. So suddenly he went to the medical hostel and had a culture shock. And he wanted to get out and so on. I met the guy and sort of helped him to go. So anyway, so these are some interesting dynamics out there.
Where do you get the financial help?
Okay, financial help, Offer itself is a registered organization in Tamil Nadu. Okay. And the people who have helped him, we had a nutritional program. I mean, one of the programs we had was birth weights were low, and we supplemented calorie content of pregnant mothers. And the children did not have food, and we did some food basket studies. But essentially, most of the support came from churches. Australian church, the Dutch Interchurch Aid, German churches, British churches, they all gave support. Now, all the refugees are given a basic dole and a place to live by the Indian government, by the central government. So they are every 2 weeks they are given some money. It's inadequate, but they are given, and they are given some rice and some oil. for the refugees to cook and eat. And they are, of course, given the housing which they don't pay for. I mean, they're inadequate toilets and all kinds of stuff like that. But they are given some basic dole is inadequate. But the programs itself, the programs of education, women's empowerment, health worker program, all this is supported by grants, which are renewed every 3-4 years. But they got the organization to renew that. And that's mainly from the churches. Currently, and then there is lots of organizations, Catholic charities and so on. There were also other sort of refugee organizations, but India does not allow any international refugee body or as for that matter to come into step into India. They don't allow the UNHCR, HCR and all that to step into India. That's the politics of that.
So what
No,
India is,
Karunya, sorry, during the COVID time, the greatness of India is for 200 or 300 million people. They supplied meals once a day and also deposited money because to all those people directly by the government because they developed this ADAR system, AAR system where personal identification is done by online. You can do it, you see, because you can. Everybody is now given everybody in India has a mobile phone and you can contact, and that is given by the government free to those people. And your personal identification, you have a 10-digit number. Everybody in India, an Indian will have a 10-digit identification. Those are personal identification. That's called the ADA system. So if you want to contact a bank, you give your number and then identification, your iris, because you're on the telephone far away, and your picture and the thing, then they identify who you are. And then they can deposit the bank, the money that they gave it to the poor people goes through the bank directly through that. There's no intervention, And also this financial system. Now, if you want to take a loan, you don't have to take these papers and all those things and go or anything because they are linked to your earlier taxation thing. Once you give this number and you go to the bank, you can. India is far advanced on the digitalization system. You see, you are right, Carmian. That is part of the thing. That is why they have built 300 million toilets for these people. And in South India, all the poor people get 3 meals a day now, including once a day egg for them. Every meal, every day. So they have done a lot. And for the females, because when they have periods, they can't change this thing. They have built toilets in these schools so the children continue to study. And the education level of the young 16 or 17 is one of the highest in the world of school education, South India, They have done a lot to the poor people. Now you don't get people using the... Sorry?
Is it the central government or the local government?
No, it's both. You see,
Chennai and Kerala, I think the local governments are doing a lot for the people.
Chennai and Kerala, the progressive indices are way ahead of the rest of the country. Also Andhra and Bangalore. South India is way ahead educationally and to North India. North Indians are way behind. And there's going to be a problem in India now with this some of Modi's policies. There is already resistance. But having said that, Chandran is right in most of it. And on the COVID, I want to just tell you, when COVID struck, because the refugees had an organization, health organization, the health worker program that I'm talking about, they isolated and they really did COVID prevention very fast within the camps. So they had minimum COVID exposure and death because they took immediately because they are trained, and this health worker program has gone. This is a barefoot doctor program. Now they also connect up with the South Indian health system, the Tamil Nadu health system, which is extremely good. I mean, Sri Lanka also has a structure for an extremely good health system. By the way, this identification you are talking about, Sri Lanka also has the same identification. And Sri Lanka also has a very, very good follow-up and system for child health, because I've seen this. So does India now, and so on. But in terms of the health workers, just to tell you, in the camps, every refugee is tested for blood pressure and for hypertension and diabetes at age 30. Everyone, because they're in a camp, you can do that, which doesn't happen in the United States. Routine screening of asymptomatic people for disease process is happens there, and then if they have it, then the health worker takes them, sends them to the local clinic and so on. So that's an interesting thing that happens there. But Vikramachandran is right. Chennai, you see what Tamil Nadu has done. I don't know about Bangalore is said to be the leader of technology. I haven't been there. IT. But Tamil Nadu has huge concentration on IT, and they are expanding. Google has a huge place and all that, and and now they have a metro. And I took the metro back to the airport. And at some parts of metro, the high rises are like New York City. It's just it's changed a lot. So there is a lot of wealth. At the same time, they are having a lot of poor people's program. There's a focus on it, and their education levels are very high in Tamil Nadu and also in Kerala, I am told, and also Bangalore and so on. North is just far behind, and that's going to cause tension.
Harnian, one of the biggest thing about this chap is doing, who Modi, now the whole of infrastructure in what you found in Madras or everything, across the whole nation, they are building roads, roads.
They're connecting. They are building highways like the US.
Fast trains, all those things are built. That is Modi's, this economic and thing is Modi, he has promoted all those things. Now they don't have this software manufacturing thing, which is very expensive because it needs a lot of power, electrical power and water, If they had one that got blown up, and now I think Japan is opening up something in, so the infrastructure of India will be different. Now they can't get land in order to bypass major cities. They are building roads in there on bypassing the city on the air, railway lines and all they bypass because you can't. Already the cities are built. The railway lines are going above. And
on top, you're right. You're right. Madras is full of high rises, roads on.
No, Karunya, even Jammu, Kashmir, for so many billions, the chap who have put money there, otherwise Saudis, they are going to open a huge shopping center worth so many billions in Jammu, Kashmir. India is on the march, but the bad aspect of that Modi, he want to unify India into one. Hindu Hindi language and Hindu religion. That is the problem with it, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's a lot of contradictions in that, and he'll fail. I mean, they will have a civil war like in Sri Lanka, and they will definitely fail. And certainly Tamil Nadu will push. Tamil Nadu is totally secular. I don't know whether you know that. Tamil Nadu.
The thing is, Karnian, if you go
Tamil Nadu is a very secular area.
Yeah.
It's not Hindu. Okay. In fact, the Brahmins are kept down there, and they are bringing new laws by which all Brahmins have to go to school to be a priest and all that. So Tamil Nadu is DMK, Thiravida Munneram Kalagam, which doesn't believe in religion.
And because during the floods, during the floods,
and so is Kerala.
Yeah, they joined together, and a lot of Muslims went and helped the Hindus. They are very, very positive towards each other. But
in Tamil Nadu,
Modi is trying to build this in the north, and he is destroying the north.
Yeah.
Actually, Modi
Modi is very good, very business, and he's very savvy and all that. Yeah. But his racial policies, he's going to destroy Hindu, and he has contradictions here because it is even the RSS is upper caste Hindus, okay, not low caste. So 50% are Dalits there. They are untouchables. I mean, the low caste. So there is a lot of contradictions within India, but they kept it up because of Gandhi, Nehru, and the secular state.
But
it's a miracle.
Karunian, if you look at his intention without getting colored, I'm not for Modi. Now, he wants to unify the whole of India into one religion, one language, you know. The link language is English, but you want to convert that into Hindi, you know. That is happening. It's already, you know. That is the issue, because earlier they tried it twice, and both times it got defeated.
Yeah, there'll be
I think I don't want to go
one religion, none of us will be living in the areas that we are living.
No, the thing is, what happened is earlier, they went to the Lok Sabha and the election, the votes couldn't get it. Now there is a mechanism by which they can increase the number of seats in the Lok Sabha, and they will get the 2/3 majority without the Tamil Nadu, and they can change it. By legislation, they can change it.
It's not only Tamil Nadu, it is Bengal, Kerala, you know, a couple of other states are resisting it. And
the southern state, because most of the temples, most of the Hindu thing is the northern state is different, you know, because they had different language. No, the Union of India was based on all these different states, or was based on language. They were different, separated into language. But in the northern thing, all the languages came to Hindi, where the southern state maintains its own language, you see, because southern states were not invaded by foreign rule for a long time. Therefore, they made the largest number of temples, the largest number of Hindus are in the southern state, not in the northern state. But Modi's whole intention is to have, I don't know whether, if you tinker with religion and race, you will go down the same path where Sri Lanka went. They destroy a country. If you want to destroy a country, adapt to that. You go down the route.
Yeah,
what
did Sri Lanka do in religion? And race? They wanted one race, one religion. Yes, that is nice. That is not nice at all.
With the language, you are finished.
No, it is. They wanted to do Sinhala only, and they wanted to do Sinhala Buddhist, not even Christians. So I think that is not the way, because I think the whole of India, it is rich because of the rich cultures. They have a mixed culture of Bengalis, you know, even if they are Muslims or not Muslims, that religion is another thing, but they had 26 to 30 languages spoken all over the world, all over India. And these people have communicated with the rest of the world. And if you think Australia is going to put their own rule, you won't be there. Because I think you're not saying right that one religion, one nation is not right.
Maruf, if you ask, there's something peculiar and interesting in India. So far, before Modi came, if you ask a Muslim in India who you are, he won't say I'm a Muslim. He's an Indian. Now they are going to clean that. Indian Muslim. They say, no, I am from Bangladesh. I'm from Saudi or something. He doesn't say. I am an Indian. That's what they were. And that's how they treated. But unfortunately, now it's going to split up, and it's sad.
I think Modi
Padmalingam wants to say something.
Modi has done something.
Padmalingam is the only politician.
He has stolen money, lots of money he has taken. He has bought islands for himself. And this is being now brought up, because I think Modi he has no family. So he goes and lives among the army people just to show that he is supporting them. And what he's doing in Kashmir is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable.
Modi is a divisive figure.
He was banned from coming to the US
until now.
Right.
Anyway, Padmalingam wants to say something. How's your friend, the President of the United States, Mr. Biden?
Well, I think
By the way, do you know that Padmalingam is Biden's friend?
Let me say something. Today's meeting was fantastic, and we heard well and truly and loud and clear from Vikramachandran, Karunian and Maruf about the issues in India and how the south of India is doing a lot better because of the sense of togetherness. The religion is not a major issue. I think we have to come together. And our group, Slimo, also have to come together to have more members involved. And health is wealth, and healthcare is mostly self-care. At 80 plus, we all have to talk more about how we could improve our longevity of life and the values of life. Let me tell you, being 85 2 days ago, 27th of July 1938, I may be one of the oldest guy in our group, but wisdom comes with age.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, advisors guy. You are.
Thank
happy
you.
birthday.
Sing for the happy birthday that we missed.
All
Let
the
me
best
tell
for
you.
your
Trust this.
life.
Yeah, thank you all. But wisdom comes with age. My wisdom revolves around only 12 words in the English language. I will repeat those 12 words. Honesty, respect, responsibility. We all are responsible people even now. Responsibility, trust. A lot of people trusted us for what we have been as doctors. Trust, caring and sharing. That's what we did all our life. Caring and sharing. 6 more words, all with the letter F, like your father. F. Faith, the Lord Almighty, whatever our religion could be, but my belief is there is one creator who created this world. So faith, family, we all are lovely family people who believe in caring for our family and being happy about the progress our children and grandchildren are making. Faith, family, friendly. This gathering is because we all are so friendly. And the fourth F is be fair in this world. FAIR. That night in 1972, when I listened to the pastor in Baltimore, Maryland in 1972 on my first Sunday, that night I was wondering, Pat Millingham, you are so happy that you are in the United States, and why can't you add a few more F's of your own? I thought about it. We all are very frank people. I added number 5F to be a frank person. And then my conscience said, Soma, Pat Millingham, I think you are doing something wrong to the pastor and you are insulting the pastor to add words of your own with a letter F. So I thought about it a little at my young age of 34, and my realization was the number one F, faith, the Lord Almighty has given a conscience to every human being in this world. Even our animals are given a conscience by the good Lord Almighty Creator. So my theory is all of us are guided by our own conscience given to us by the number one F, faith, the Lord Almighty. So if we can follow the conscience which is guided by the Lord Almighty and do things which our conscience says is appropriate and right, we will never fail. And I think we have all done that. That's why we are together today. So the last F is be firm with the guidance given to you by your Lord-given conscience. But let me tell you about the politics of America. The politics of America is dirty and bad, but I am happy that I have a friend in our White House after a jackass who got in by illegal way with the help of the Russians and some bad people. So I am happy that 80-year-old friend of mine, a good Catholic Christian, is in our White House, and he's the only one, in my judgment, among the several jackasses trying to get into our White House in 1.5 years, are not fit to be there. He may be old, he may be falling around, but he is the man with the right 15 cabinet members, young people advising him, and let's pray for him to be the next 4-year president. The jackass, the total liar, the pathological liar is trying to get into our White House. If he, by any chance, get into our White House, I will be going to Sri Lanka to die. That is my total belief. He's not fit to even wipe the shoe of Joe
Padmalingam,
Biden.
if Trump,
Why don't you
if
shoot him?
Padmal-
Why don't you shoot
Padmalingam,
him?
if
Finish
Trump
him.
was the president, Ukraine war would have never come. And he would have not this Taiwan issue, would have fixed it. You watch it and see, if he is elected president, Ukraine war will be gone.
Yeah,
No,
that's
Vikramachandran,
your opinion. This is
you are-
my opinion. Thank you,
Vikramachandran.
Narada. But
Yeah.
I am going to be working very hard, hand in hand with Joe Biden, because Joe Biden is a 1961 graduate of the Archmere Academy, which is a private Catholic school. My cardiology son is a 1993 graduate of Archmere Academy, and my little son is a 1997 graduate of Archmere Academy, and Ashley Biden is a 1998 graduate of Archmere Academy. Being parents of children in the same high school, Joe and Jill, we are family friends. So I think I'll be working for Joe.
What are you going to do with Hunter getting all this money? What
Yeah,
are you going to do
well,
with Hunter?
how about 15 years of not paying any taxes?
Of
Yeah,
course.
I don't know. Hold it.
One
Vikramachandran,
question.
one of the things that you have to learn is to be, the news media is so complicated.
Yeah.
You just have to go through, sift through it to go into data and basics to understand what's happening. And I can tell you one thing, there is no president.
Vicky, I can't
who
see your
is-
face. Put some light in front of it.
There's no
There-
light
there-
here, madam.
There is no president who's done so much in terms
Yeah,
of
you have light behind it.
accomplishments as a legislative accomplishment as Biden has. He compares to Roosevelt. Quietly, the guy knows the system. He's done remarkable things. And, he's certainly been extremely effective as a president.
Thanks, Karanian.
I think
I
if
think we believe in values of life. He has a lot of values of life
Yeah.
being a
What
human.
do you say, Shanti?
if by any chance he drops dead, Kamala Akka Vandruva.
Yes, correct. Kamala Akka is
Well,
a
she's
very,
not
That will be
very
good,
able
Kamala
lady.
Akka.
She's not seen nor heard.
Kamala Harris is a very smart lady.
Yeah.
And at the moment, she's keeping quiet and not very popular.
No. The point is, one of the things that Trump does, he does continuous outrageous thing. And so he's always in the news media, good or bad. So he sucks a lot of the energy out of other things that go on. The news media only puts out things that are controversial and problematic. So Kamala Harris is doing a lot of good work, administrative stuff, helping Biden. But unless there's a controversy, it doesn't come up. So recently, her face came up because she went to Florida and blasted that Negroes benefited from the slavery the narrative that's coming out in Florida. You know that, right?
Sanders.
The fascist, huh?
Sanders.
DeSantis, a fascist called DeSantis, who says that the black people benefited from slavery by learning skills.
Oh my God.
So that, I mean, they are rewriting history. They are banning books.
There is freedom of speech.
Huh?
One
No,
more thing
it's
about
not freedom
this.
of speech. It's not freedom of speech. They are banning. They don't say gay. So freedom of speech is being impaired by them. Anyway, it's a complicated thing. I don't want to go into it anyway.
But the fact is, Haronian, the Kamala Harris failed in that Mexican refugee thing. There's a problem at the
She had not failed. No, Vikramachandran. She had not failed. Listen. If an oncologist treats a malignant cancer and the patient dies, the oncologist has not failed. She is certainly, but she had tried and it has had some impact. The lowest number of illegal crossing was in the last couple of months under Biden. But the Republican fellows lie, so they keep on lying, saying border is unsecure and all that. But if you go to statistics, that's why I say you have to go beyond the nice to go to facts and data. If you go to facts and data, the crossings have come down, but it's a very intractable issue. It's a difficult issue, and ultimately the solution has to come from legislative passage, which these Congress girls can't do. They are incapable of doing it. But she hasn't failed. Things have improved. But of course, propaganda is different. Propaganda has no basis on facts. So she hasn't failed. I mean, it's a sensible program. People are leaving, and communities are getting people are just leaving communities in people like Honduras and Guatemala and all that. So she's trying to go and invest in those communities to let people stay there and work there and do something. So it's a huge problem.
After
Yeah.
Michael
You
came,
think
there are a lot of
Trump
black
Trump
fellows.
has a
The
chance of
press
coming in?
secretary is black. The United Nations representative is a black. You can see that it's dark. Now the black people are in charge. The press secretary is the black.
They're not in charge. That's nonsense. These white supremacists.
I didn't say charge. They have
Yeah.
put.
First of all, the Biden believes in what Martin Luther King. You judge a person not by the color of the skin, by the content of character. Okay.
You are right.
So,
Yes.
yeah, and that's what he said. And you have excellent people. I mean, you have the United Nations
Meritocracy.
Meritocracy. They have this fellow Pete Buttigieg. He's a gay. He's married to another man and he has children. He's such a wonderful guy. He's the most effective cabinet minister, bright, to the point. And so he's a gay. He's in the cabinet. And then we have a transgender woman who's the secretary in the thing.
He will be a president in 6 years. This man will be our president in 6 years. Buttigieg.
He might need a lift to get up to the plane because he can't walk up the stairs.
Anyway, you can say, Vicky, you can say anything.
System to get into
my judgment, the best candidate in America for the next 4 years after 1.5 years is Joe Biden. And the first lady should be Dr. Jill Biden.
I don't agree with you on that
PhD and a professor.
I think the best person to be a president is Gavin Newsom.
You said you lead.
Well, and that is your governor. Why didn't he declare yet?
Well, he does politics. But if he does, he's a very bright, young, progressive, compassionate guy. And remember, California has the highest number of people living there. As an economy, it is the 4th largest economy in the world. If California was a country, its economy is larger than the economy of Britain, Germany, just only after, maybe not Germany, but it's a huge economy and he's running that effectively.
And Los Angeles as a lady of color who was in the House as the mayor now, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You will have to excuse me. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Okay, I think we better wind up.
It's a long time. I think he joined about 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are chatting and talking nonsense. This can you talk next month?
Oh, definitely. No problem. No problem.
August.
No problem.
Thank you.
And Shanti, can you give us some? No, I think we'll have one talk. Shanti, can you give us a talk on meditation on some other time?
Sure. I think I'll combine my Bosnian trip and the meditation together.
Okay.
Yes,
September.
That'll be nice. That'll be nice.
Narada, can you tell something?
Yeah.
I have to think about it. Okay. Yeah. Now we have 2 for the next 2 meetings.
Yeah.
How about something about your childhood and your growth and your influences and so on? No, like what Benita did.
Yeah.
Like what Mohan did.
Yeah, I can. I'll think about something and short talk.
Yeah, just something to keep us interested and know.
Yeah, sure.
Something to complement his exercise.
We should also ask Lal, because Lal has been putting lots of in the group. He brought up some interesting discussions.
Yeah, but he didn't join, isn't it?
I think
So
Abid,
Narada, can you give a counter argument to Hinsley's exercise? Something that says not doing exercise is good.
Yes.
Muscle memory, muscle memory, muscle
beating
memory. Benita, is your telephone working? Mobile phone is working, is it? I tried to
Yes.
reach you. Oh, okay.
Oh,
I just want
I
to.
don't know.
Vikramadjana.
Yeah, I know
Yes, sir.
sometimes it's not, but someone also said it seems to be blocked up. You know, I must say. His rings, I don't know. I'll check.
So Vikramadjana,
Oh,
what is
Yes,
this
sir.
Australia voice or something? What is the thing what you're telling?
you can talk about that.
Can you
No,
talk
no,
about
the
it next time?
Aboriginals, they want to have a say in the parliament, what affects them. But that's terrible. I will vote against it because.
Okay, so give us some background.
Because they were now when these
There is a-
Aboriginals came, just like in Canada and United States of America, the natives were ignored. Now, if you apply the rules of the time when an invading population came, they ruled the place the way they want to. The trophies were females, they raped, they drank, and the same era. Now, all over the world it happens. When the Romans went into the Western world, they did the same thing. But when when Cook came and put the white man on Australia, he called it Nulla Terrace. This land doesn't belong to anybody because, in other words, there are no humans. They are the Aboriginal have. So they didn't possess any land. So they lost any land rights. And one place in Tasmania, they killed each and every Aboriginal, shot and killed. Not one single Aboriginal escaped. They were shot and killed in Tasmania. They got rid of the blacks in Tasmania. The blacks moved into the warmer area of Northern Territory, and those were the blacks, They look like our Tamil, the Sri Lankan Tamils, like their structure is like that. Now, if you look at the rest of the crowd in around Australia, they have the Polynesian, they have good muscle, except the Aboriginals in Australia, they are very lightly built. Anyway, that I'm moving away from the issue. The issue is they want to have some say in the parliament. That's the whole thing. The people who are canvassing for this, in my opinion, are the chaps. Unless they say they're Aboriginals, you think they're white chaps. People are wanting this, the parliament and all those things. If you look at them, unless they put a label on the head, I am an Aboriginal, you won't know. They look white. But I worked in the Northern Territory for a couple of years. And when I initially went, I visited all these communities in Northern Territory. Every month I had to fly from one community to another community to another community. They are raw blacks, They don't go to school. They stay. There is a small tin shed in which they have all this tin food and alcohol and everything. But they are given this social security card. They go and give it to this tin chap who owns this tin shed. He will give them the grog. He'll give them the wheat flour. They'll give them the canned food. So they forgot to hunt. So they live around this. They don't go to school. They are uneducated. They don't care. They're like animals. You're born today, die tomorrow. So live happy, drink. Then when they are drunk, they don't know. They don't know who is the mother, who is the sister. There are various exploitation or not exploitation. So they are doing that even now. The large number of people in jail, the juvenile jails, it's all Aboriginal. The people in the health thing is down, Aboriginals, because they live in the thing and they don't care. So that is the problem, that the raw black Aboriginal is still now.
Vikramadjana, I am absolutely sure that if you take some narrative of the Jews by Hitler, he'll have similar traits. I think there's another story to it. I mean, I think these are very.
Karanian, I'm present that just like you were
Listen,
trying to
I'll give you a counter argument. Canada.
Let me finish this. Let me finish this. Because the thing, what I'm trying to get at is the raw Aboriginal who needs slave. I'll tell you what the answer to that. You brought in the Jews. I always told them, I don't agree. The money is flowing, rivers of gold is flowing into the Aboriginals. The money doesn't go to them and they don't need the money. I told them, if you want to improve the Aboriginal, all these parameters, you have to go there and teach them the Western way. You know, you can't study, educate, law, abandonment. You can't do that when they are the adults. You have to teach them when they in all these communities, they must send people to teach them, bring them together, small children, and teach them. That's the only way you can change them, not by law, not by pouring the money, because it has failed. And so now what happens is this white Aboriginals who are, they wanted this legislation to pass so that it's called the voice in Parliament. They are going to take a referendum on this by the Australian population to see whether the Aboriginals need a voice in Parliament. So every law that is passed or anything that is passed, if it affects the Aboriginal, they can give an opinion on that. And they think they might change everything there. That is what they're asking for. That's a very powerful thing in the Constitution, to involve a voice for the Aboriginal. The idea is, if any law is passed or anything is done by the Parliament, they have a right to comment on it and help. They say to help the government to do what affects them. But I don't think that's going to help the country very much. These poor blacks in the thing, it had nothing to do with them. This is what I'm trying to get at. Aboriginal are still there, remain in that, but the white Aboriginal, they want to get various positions. That's what's going to happen.
Vicky, we heard you loud and clear. Thank you very much.
I would ask you to look at Canada. In fact, they just put they have a minister of Indigenous Affairs. They recognize them as the first occupants of the land. And there's a whole different approach to what you are describing. Okay. And there's a different way of looking at it. And in fact, 2 days ago, the Minister of Indigenous Affairs was made the cabinet minister of Gary Anandasangan.
Sri Lankan,
But independent of that, Vikramachandran, this same rhetoric has been used against the slaves. They are essentially something inferior, that our way is a superior way. They too came to our way. It's a constant rhetoric that goes on, and in different places, in different times, all over humanity. Okay, so you got to examine that a little more carefully, in my opinion. I would not describe what is happening in. You got to recognize the humanity of it and the context of it.
The first people who landed in.
Karnian, you missed the point, Karnian.
Vikramachandran.
The white Australian is sympathetic towards the Aboriginals. I lived with them. I lived in that area where these Aboriginals, the raw Aboriginal, they are given enough money and everything is given. But they are, what I'm trying to tell you, they had to change the mind. Now you can't, if you take a dog.
For the American, listen to this, Vikramachandran.
Let me finish this.
Let me give you an interesting example. The concept of owning land, having ownership to land, doesn't exist in many of the American, original American, whom they call American Indians, in the US. In the US, the notion that this is my house, I got a deed, I got to have a land, that notion does not exist in their culture, in their religion, in their way they look at life. So when the Americans come and say, this is my land and this is your land, they are mystified. They don't believe how anyone can have land. They believe they come into the land and you got to be nice to the land and the land will be nice to you, live and have children and die. So the ownership concept itself, the business of having a bank account and owning and having money and spending, that itself, that individualistic concept itself does not exist. Anthropologists have described it in the American life. So now, when you go and then judge these guys saying they have no money, they have more, they can't use money, culturally and traditionally, they look at the world differently. And the question we have is, do we impose our way of life and our values and our things on them, or try and understand them and then work with them and get good and bad in them? So it's a much more complicated thing than the way you put it. What you are essentially saying, you have a standard, a method, a philosophy, a concept of what the world should be and how individuals should be, and then you are using that to judge that guy.
Karnia, you are treading the wrong track. Now in Australia, they are given land rights. The Aboriginals have land rights.
No, I'm not talking. What I'm saying is, whatever said and done, Aboriginals' concept of universe, concept of the ultimate, cultivate of what is important and what is not important. I suspect, I don't know anything about the Aboriginals. I suspect it's different from what the white colonialists brought. And then sometimes it takes long time to change. You know, you take a simple thing like India caste system. Okay, you take the caste system in India. RSS. No. But the point is that the notion that the people are made differently and have different tasks and are endowed is a very deeply held belief in India. And you see how difficult it is to change. Even the Modi can't change that. Okay. So
Aboriginal communities, there are two called Palmerston and the Anglican Society. But let me finish this. They had these Christian sisters living with them for a long time. And in Anglican Society, if you go to those areas in the Aboriginal area, they're all black-looking, black Aboriginal. Their way of life is just like the Australians. They are living very well. They go to schools, everything. 200 years this happened, and the Aboriginal, the remote community has not changed. You see, you can take a dog and train it, and it will behave because they have no value. What I'm trying to tell you,
they have values. They don't have your values. They have values.
No, Karnian, you are treading the wrong track.
I mean, there's no one in the world without values.
No. If you die to your way, you cannot improve them. If you want to improve them, you have to change your tact. This is what I tell all these guys in Australia here. The way you went for 200 years, you poured the money, there's no change. They own the land. 2/3 of the land is owned by the Aboriginals, you know, all the mining rights and billions and billions of dollars are pouring into them. The Australian government gives $6 billion a year to the Aboriginal, who form only 1 or 2% of the Australian population. What's happening? Those won't work. This is not the American system. This is not like the Canadian system. These chaps have everything.
Excuse me,
take the money.
Vicky, we are getting a little late. We value
think so.
I think we should stop.
opinion
I think
very
this
much.
subject is
the good subject.
subject for two meetings.
Yeah,
I think we shouldn't
I
take
also
that
have
now.
to go. Okay, lovely. So hopefully we'll have Rajendran talking us on running
Vicky,
next
we
time.
change the topic.
Narada, think of something to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Narada saw Charmaine and behind you, she has walked away now. Say hi to her.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. No, she came to say hello to Srima, but she just left.
Between Narada and Vikramachandran, what's happening to the 5th test match? What's the scoreline?
Oh, it was all first innings, both almost equal. Australia lead by 12 runs. Now the second innings is on now.
Yeah.
I wish
Australia
you well,
lost,
but I
Australia
support
5 tests.
England.
Australia lost 2 tests, and they won 1. So now the one got drawn. This final test.
England lost 2.
England lost 2 tests.
Sorry.
Australia is keeping the Ashes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
But Australia is a better side compared to England. You know, it's a batting and bowling are much better.
Okay.
Vikramachandran, I'll say Australia
sir.
may be a better side, but you are talking about human values. But I think England have better human values system.
Thank
So,
you,
Are you
Shanti.
talking about the run out? Are you running about the run outs?
We may lose the match and we may lose the Ashes, but we still are better on the grounds. We accept the rules and better in that sense. But let's not talk about it. But I think it was a good talk.
Thank you for being with us for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, guys.
Thank you.
I have to go and work out
leave.
for longevity of life. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you,
See you
Karani,
all.
for sending that poem. Thank you.
Thanks, Maruf. Thanks,
Okay,
Shanti.
all the best to you.
Karuni, all of
Bye,
you.
Benita. Bye,
Okay.
Benita.
Bye,
Nice to
everyone.
see you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Rima,
Bye. Srima has
Shanti.
gone. Bye,
Srima is
Nilani.
gone.
Bye.
Shanti.
Bye,
See you all.
everyone.
Shanti, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Shanti,
Yeah,
do you have a telephone number for Srima?
I think so. I'll send it to you on WhatsApp, Nilani.
Please, sir, kindly send it to me on WhatsApp.
Sure. I'll do that.
Narada,
Ilani, you know how to connect next time.
I don't know. I got automatically connected. I wouldn't know whether I followed any
You
procedure,
did
but
the correct, right? Yeah.
so anyway, I struggle with it every time.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Bye,
Bye,
Maru.
Maru.
Thank
Bye,
you
Thank
for
you.
Salima.
everything.
Salima, hello.
Bye, Padmalingam, everyone. Bye, all. Bye. Bye, Salima.
Bye. Bye. It was a good discussion, but a little too much about the the
I think
people of
we must put
Australia.
Vikramachandran under the light. He's in the dark.